Can morning routines for mental health prevent burnout? Interview with Paul Conley. Do you feel that you start your day hectic, putting out fires, and then continue all day and end up exhausted at the end of the day? You feel life runs you instead of you running your life. Is this something that can help you get the control of the life so you could lead from the front instead of from the back? Well, our guest, Paul Conley, will share his most powerful method that has helped him and his clients. Would you like to learn those powerful tools that you can apply right away in your life? Then stay tuned. You're watching Happy and Healthy Mind with Dr. Rozina, episode 94. Paul is a business and entrepreneur coach. He works with the high performing, high achievers who would like to change their passion into a business. He has been an executive in a large organization for the last 10 years and lives in Tampa, Florida. And I am your host, Dr. Rozina Lakhani. I help compassionate high achievers achieve more, earn more, and make the bigger impact they're meant to make without burnout and without losing their health or career. I'm an executive coach, corporate speaker, and an integrative psychiatrist. I believe that your mind is the software that runs the hardware for both your brain and your body. Therefore, I share practical tips for mental fitness over here. If you need some specific medical advice, please reach out to your healthcare professionals. But if you find this content helpful, then join our mission of eradicating preventable suffering by liking, subscribing, and sharing so more people can live their best life and perform at their best with hope, health, and happiness. If you're joining us live, please share in the chat any questions you may have. So let's learn from our guest. Paul, thanks for joining us today. Can you start by telling us how did this topic become important for you?
Yeah, thanks for having me. I early on in my career as an executive, I realized that I was always fighting fires every day. I would have a in my head, this is how today is going to go the night, after the night before, as I'm preparing for the day. Okay, this is what I'm going to do. And normally it started with, hey, I'm going to make sure I get a workout in and I'm going to do these things. Well, right off the bat, I would normally hit snooze for about the first 30 minutes. So right
Right.
there, everything else went haywire. And then once I did wake up, I would always be so nervous about the email that came in or what the thing is I needed to check. So I would check my email right away. And all of a sudden it's, oh shoot, I gotta get ready to go. I gotta get dressed. I gotta, grab something normally unhealthy to eat for breakfast. And I'm running, and maybe I get to my first meeting on time, but I'm already in that firefighting mode. I'm reactive to everything versus starting my day on my own terms. And,
Mhm.
I would
A
joke.
lot of our listeners could probably relate to it. Most of us do that. Yeah.
Yeah, I would, and the big thing for me was I would, so I would try to say, all right, I'll exercise. I'll get my exercise in at lunchtime. And I would joke that my best workout was taking my gym bag from my house to my car and then back in from my car to my house. And because what would happen was I would find, or things would get behind. I would get behind all day. And then I would skip that workout. I would eat the unhealthy lunch. And now I'm tired in the middle or later in the day. And, it just became a continual hamster wheel effect.
So did it start affecting your health or your work or your family life?
Yeah, all of the above, really, because from a health perspective, my weight was a lot higher than I wanted it to be, and really, what would happen was I was so tired by the end of the day, and not really accomplishing much. So tomorrow's day just got I have to get more done tomorrow. That you start, you want that relief, so you're going for the quick fix of the item that makes you feel good, whether it's alcohol or sugary foods or something that just so you can feel good for a moment in time versus feeling good all day. At that point, fortunately, I was single, So I didn't, it didn't impact my family life, but I do believe that because of the way I lived my life, it really affected my mindset and overall my ability to connect
Mm-hmm.
and to do the things that I wanted to do in a
Mm-hmm.
proactive manner. And then I think from a leading perspective, I set a terrible example for those that I supervised. That I wasn't able to lead from in front. I wasn't establishing trust within them because I was checking in on vacations, I was doing all that stuff. So a lot of times I wasn't leading the way we want. I needed to lead. Thus, to me, I wasn't successful in my role.
Mm-hmm. And so, what happened that you made a shift?
I just kind of got tired of being where I was at. And I
Mm-hmm.
thought there has to be a better way to live life. It's just this can't be what I do for the next 30 years, retire, and then it just can't be this way.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually hired a coach. That was
Mm-hmm.
my first introductory to coaching.
Mm-hmm.
And
You were kind of feeling some symptoms of burnout. That's what kind of prompted you.
yeah, oh, absolutely. I didn't know that then. I know it
You didn't name
now.
it burnout, but you were having
Yeah.
what kind of
Yeah,
problems were you having?
absolutely. I was always tired. There's that. But I was kind of just feeling kind of miserable. I never felt good at any point in the day. And I was looking for a change, but I didn't know what the change was. But something told me that it was deeper than changing my job or changing.
Yeah, a lot of people think that okay, if I quit, then the burnout would be over. But you have to kind of change inside before you have to change outside.
Yeah, fortunately, I was smart enough to go, well, wait a minute. This is not something that changing a surface level problem is going to fix. So, I just said, okay, I'm gonna work with somebody to solve this problem. And one of the first things I learned was around morning routines. And she asked me, "What's your morning routine?" And I shared what I just shared, which isn't much of a routine, but really anything that you continuously do is a routine. So I had one. It just
Yes.
wasn't any good.
Right, right. And we'll go into the detail in a few minutes, but before we jump into the actual routine that helped you, how did the life change once you started applying these routines?
Uh, you know, it's one of those things where it didn't just all of a sudden go from not great to great like that. But when I look back, I go, wow, okay, I lost 35 pounds or so. I'm in the best shape that I've ever been in. I have a lot more energy. I'm significantly more calm in the face of a problem. I am able to compartmentalize and focus on the main things. And the biggest thing is, and it's because of all of these things, I'm significantly much more confident,
Wonderful.
and which allows you to do the things that you kind of avoid doing because I don't have that fear of failure. I just, okay, if I need to call this person to help move my business along, I used to sit there for weeks and not call the person because I was scared. I was scared to make the conversation. I wasn't confident in myself. I wasn't confident in our business. But now it's just pick up the phone, have a conversation. So for me, it's changed everything. Now I don't know if this is, I can't say that this gets all the credit, but now I'm married now.
Yeah.
I'm doing better professionally than I've ever done, and I'm able to get more meaningful things done in less time than I ever was. I mean, I was working 60, 70 hours a week before, and I put it in quotes for anybody watching because while I was at work, I really wasn't getting the most important things done. Now because of the way I'm able to bring energy, focus on myself first, make sure I'm in the right space, and then I'm able to sit there and say, all right, what are the most important things I need to accomplish today? And then I just start doing them. And when you accomplish the most important things, the results then soon follow.
Wonderful, wonderful. Yeah, so I'm sure our audience would like to know if they would like to apply this tool in their life, how can they start? What should they do?
So I follow a method called Savers, and it's breaks it down as the S is silence, the A is affirmations, the V is visualization, E is exercise, R is reading, and the S is scribing or journaling. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't read every morning. I don't. That's not the part. That's just the part that I don't do. Um, I what I do though is I the exercise is the biggest component for me. But and this is that was where I started. That was my jump off point. Every morning I wake up, probably 98% of the mornings I wake up and I go work out. Whether it's a run, a walk, I go lift weights, whatever. That's how I start my day. And I'm normally, instead of reading, I'm normally listening to a podcast. So, or, essentially a book on tape. So I'm not sitting traditionally reading. I'm trying to grow my mind, trying to fire my mind up along with my body. And then, I spend some time journaling and I spend some time trying to be in silence. The meditation, the silence, that's been the new thing that I've added this year. It's been the hardest part for me. I don't sit still. I don't do it well. And I'm not sure that I get a good grade for meditating because normally about a minute and a half in, my mind is seven other places. But normally what happens is when I allow myself just to sit idly, I solve problems, I come up with great solutions, but most importantly, my brain is I'm just calm. So there can be a problem and I'm going to react very calmly to it most of the time.
Let's
I
kind
can
of go a little bit more in
Yeah.
detail because I see this problem a lot. So, a lot of people say that they just can't stay quiet for the meditation. And you just said that you also struggle. So, how did you resolve it? Like, do you then only sit for 1.5 minutes or do you sit for 15 minutes and allow your brain? Like, what is your strategy to allowing that silence in your life?
Yeah, so I, I'm probably not your expert here because
You are the
I
expert of your life.
yeah, no,
So
I
how are
know.
you doing it?
I hear you, and that's where I was headed because I think most people get frustrated with meditation because they say, "Well, I fail at this. Like I just struggle." Well, to me, there is no success in failing. Like I listened to a guided meditation for 10 minutes,
Okay.
and
So that's a good
there's
tool for people who have
yeah,
a hard time initiating just like, passive meditation. They can listen to a guided
yep,
meditation that can help them focus on that one thing. So that's a great tool. So you listen to a guided meditation for 10 minutes. Okay.
yeah. And then what I
And
do is, and it says it in the meditation, it says you're going to hear a noise outside. You're going to have some distraction. Your mind is going to take you someplace because your mind is a powerful tool. Just bring it back. You didn't fail. You didn't do anything wrong. Just bring it back. And that's what I do. Probably about 10 times in that 10 minutes, I'll say, okay, all right, come on, bring it back. Focus on the breath. Just focus on sitting. And it's a true game changer.
yeah.
I resisted it at first, but it moves the needle significantly.
So I say that meditation is like training your brain. And so just that act of bringing it back is the exercise, not just sitting silently and focusing on breath, but that process of recognizing that your mind is not here, deciding or making the choice of bringing it in the moment, and then trying to do it. That process is training your brain. You're building your brain muscle to focus on one thing. And I think then that translates into other things during the day where you need the focus. So you train your brain how to focus better. And that goes a long way. And again, like you said, it calms you down. So like when our mind is constantly thinking, it it is it gets tired.
Yeah.
And so then when you are practicing a silence or meditation, any form of meditation, you calm your mind to relax, and then it is able to handle the situation calmly and do the problem solving as the need arises throughout the day. All right, so you said you follow savers. So the first of savers was S for silence, which is meditation. The second one was, you said, affirmations.
Affirmations.
Okay,
Yep.
so how do you practice affirmations?
Yeah, so I have them written down. I have 10 affirmations I read every morning.
Okay.
And, I'll tell you the first one, for example, is today is going to be, and I've got capitalized, today is going to be a great day. I tell myself that every day is going to be a great day. Is every day a great day? No, it's just not the way life works. But I have it in the mindset that today is going to be a great day. If you wake up going, today's Monday, today's going to suck, you're going to be right. Like it's going to happen. So I try to at least have that positive outlook that today's going to be a great day. And, miracles are all around me. Great things can happen. Amazing things can happen on a given day. So why not today?
Wonderful, wonderful. Yeah, and so just for the people who don't know what affirmations are positive statements. They are said in the present tense that you want your brain to hear, things that you want in life, and you say it as if they are already happened. So, like you said, today is going to be a great day. It's like, you're not sure, but you're still putting that affirmation out that that's what your intention is. And they are very powerful because it kind of sets your brain for expectation. Like you said, like if you say today is Monday, it's going to suck, or this is Friday, it's like, I can't wait for it to end. Then, there is a certain situation. You're going to prove yourself right, because we want to be right, our mind wants to be right. And so if you tell your mind that it's going to be a great day, then your mind wants to make it a great day. And if you say it's going to suck, then your mind is going to prove you right. So
It'll
that's
search
very,
for the results. It'll,
yeah,
it'll search for those outcomes all day.
yeah, yeah, wonderful. So I do a form of affirmation which I call advanced gratitude, when I say I'm happy and grateful in advance
Mm,
that
mm,
I
I
am
like
so
that.
and so, and I do so and so,
Yeah,
and stuff
that's
like that.
great.
So we did meditations. S for
Yep.
savor,
Yep.
silence. A for affirmation. What was V for?
Visualization.
Okay, so affirmation and visualization go together. And
It
tell me how
does.
you visualize.
So I have visualization and gratitude kind of in the same, and that's been a switch. So, and this is probably the most important part. Your morning routine cannot be successful if you hit snooze throughout the morning. If you don't get up on time, everything else kind of goes by the wayside. So I have 2 alarms set every morning. One is at whatever, let's just say 6 o'clock, and one's at 6:05. The 6 o'clock alarm goes off. I turn it off, and I lay there. I kind of prop myself up so that I'm awake, and I lay there, and I've got my wife beside me. Oftentimes, our dog is in our bed with us, and I just allow that moment to kind of to allow itself to be there, and I allow myself to be so happy and so grateful that we're healthy and we're happy and we're together and that I've got this, that this is something I've always wanted in my 20s. So I have this now. So be thankful for it. And then I sit there and I think about my day and I visualize the outcomes I want to happen. The meeting going well, the accomplishment that I want to get done, the results. And does it always go that way? No, but I've got that in my mind, and it kind of prepares me for my day. Then 5 minutes later, second alarm goes off. I literally hit the button and I'm out of bed. I don't, if you lay back down, you're playing from behind all day. It just doesn't work.
So, although you give yourself this transition, which we have to because we are not machines, we are human
Right.
beings. So, you kind of getting from totally asleep state to totally wake state. But in that process, you are practicing this mental great gratitude
Yep.
and visualization. That's wonderful. I usually write my gratitude journal.
Yeah.
So you don't write the journal, but you are practicing the gratitude in your mind.
I write it a little later
Okay, all right.
in the process.
Okay, all right. So we did S for silence, A for affirmation, V for visualization. What's the E for?
Exercise. And
All
it's my
right,
personal favorite.
all right.
So like I said, I used to try to exercise in the middle of the day. I was zero zero for about 1,000 doing that. I wake up, I have my clothes all ready to go. I throw on my gym clothes, and it depends on the day. Some days I'm going to the gym to lift or something like that. Some days it's just as simple as I'm taking my dog out on a walk. But I start almost every day with some form of exercise. And I'll be honest, at this point, when I don't, my day is completely different. I'm always just a step slow. I'm always just a little bit less creative, a little less energetic. My brain just doesn't work as well. And I know some people who live and die by the evening workout or whatever, and uh, it's better than not doing anything. I used to kind of shake my head at the people that would get up at 7 in the morning to go work out. Like, that's crazy. You could be sleeping. And no, it's a life changer for me.
Yeah, it gets your blood going. It stimulates you. It wakes your brain up. So there's a lot of cognitive benefit as well as physical benefits of the exercise. So that was your E. Then what is your R?
So that's reading.
Okay.
I sub in, like I said, normally I'm listening to a podcast, but it's
Mm-hmm.
something that's normally self-development.
Mm-hmm.
Because I want to better myself in a certain area. I want to learn. I want the brain going. It's not something that I kind of think of when I like sometimes we watch shows that kind of just turn our brain off. And there's podcasts out there that are the same. That are great. They're great releases from whatever the day may have, and I save those for the end of the day. But in the morning, I
Or the
want something that's
news, or the news.
right.
Like a lot of
I
people just turn on the news and all, like what does news bring to you? All the wrong things that are happening around you are
right.
brought to you in the news.
Yeah, so something that's gonna get my brain firing, and it depends on the day, but it's something that gets me thinking, hopefully gets me motivated, but activates the brain. And normally I'm doing that as I'm working out. So
So you combine your reading
yeah.
with your exercise. And so then what is the last S for?
Last one is journaling, scribing. So every morning I write down, what's on my mind, what's going on. And I, when I first started the journal, some days I just didn't have anything. I'm like, what am I supposed to write about? Like, I don't have any, like, I feel great today. Um, so I subscribe to kind of I write down wins. It's called Foursquare journaling: wins, gratitude, fears, and gratefulness. So it's kind of all told. Sometimes
Wonderful.
I
I
just
think I
write.
didn't catch the four. So the first one was win. So you write down all the wins that you had the previous day.
Yep.
What was the second one?
So it's wins, fears, which
Fears.
that always seems to be, a lot of questions and what ifs, and
So
it can be a
that
little lengthy.
fears of today, like
Fears in life,
okay.
like a lot of times mine is, am I healthy? Like, or is something wrong,
Mm-hmm.
physically? Who
Mm-hmm.
knows?
Mm-hmm.
And then what am I grateful for?
So
And
third is your gratitude.
yep, and then finally forgiveness, um, which is
Forgiveness. That's a new one.
yeah,
So what
yeah.
do you do
So
there?
it's and sometimes, a lot of times, I will forgive the silliest things. The person that cut me off yesterday in
Hmm.
traffic. I mean, sometimes it's deeper. Like, I'll forgive a friend or a family member for something that they did 20 years ago. But I just try to think back and just say, you know what, I'm okay. Like, I survived this issue, so let's move on.
Wonderful, wonderful. Yeah, because when you are carrying that grudge and that anger towards somebody, and like say, like you said, sometimes for 20 years, what is it doing, to you and to, it's not doing anything to the other person. It's actually hurting you. Sometimes I use the analogies like, carrying the grudge and not forgiving is like carrying banana peels in your backpack and carrying around with you.
Mm.
So what would happen? All the bees and the stink is going to come and makes you feel rotten. So letting go and forgiving is a great tool. So the four things, just to repeat for people, did you call it four square journal?
Four square journaling, yeah. So
Okay.
it's wins, forgiveness, fears, and then gratitude.
Wonderful, wonderful. So those make your morning routine, and that has helped you quite a bit in your life. So tell me, if somebody doesn't do these morning routines, what kind of problems they could have. I know you
Well,
had some problems, but we're kind of trying to summarize in terms of when you don't have any morning routine, what happens to your mental health? What happens to your risk for burnout? What happens to your ability to do your best?
yeah, so I think that a couple of different things happen. You start from behind, and it's a snowball effect. When you start from behind, you're not able to take care of the most important things, and you're not able to deal with the daily stressors and the daily problems that come about. So then you snowball those problems into bigger problems when you can and in the workspace you end up solving problems, especially as the leader, that oftentimes if you just let it breathe and give it a few minutes, somebody else actually solves it, and it's the proper person that solves it. But when you don't allow a problem to breathe, sometimes you end up solving it because you're the first one to solve it. If you're get your emails on your phone and you sit there and open it and you're the first one to see it and you try to solve it, and you're just adding more things to you to do. So at the end of the day, you end up doing less of what you're supposed to do because you've added 10 or 15 new things that you added for yourself that drain you of energy and time. And thus, normally what happens is at the end of the day, there's two things that are occurring. You either have way too much work to do and you stay at work and you keep working until it's done, and then you're causing some issues at home, or you leave but your mind is still at work because oh my gosh, I just worked 8 hours today, or 9 or 10 hours or whatever, and I have more things to do than when I started. How does that work? So, and it's about doing the most impactful work. But what we do is when we're not in a good place mentally and physically, and we're distracted by our health and our home life, and we're not able to focus on the task at hand, we do things that are easy, and we avoid the big things that we need to do to move our business forward. And this morning routine process has allowed me to focus in on the most important things, set some boundaries, and then that carries over into everything else I do.
Wonderful, wonderful. So, if I were to ask you to summarize your message for our audience, what would be your take-home message?
Yeah. Give yourself permission to put yourself first. Allow yourself the opportunity every day to start your day. It's your day. You own it on your own terms. And the way you start your day does not have to be the exact way I just said it. It works for me. I feel great every morning after I accomplish this. And when I don't do it, I don't feel great. Now, yours might be something different. I know that there's some people with kids that part of their morning routine every morning is they ensure that they have breakfast with their kids. That is amazing. Whatever it is, start the day with doing something or some things that make you a better person and bring you joy. If you don't, the rest of the day will eat that time up and you won't grow as a person each day.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much. And for people want to reach you, how can they reach you?
Yeah, best place is LinkedIn. So I try to bring some value every day on LinkedIn. You can connect with me there, and happy to help and talk with anybody who could use my help.
Wonderful. Yeah, and thank you so much. Paul has given a gift of free first strategy session for customized roadmap for people who want to transform their passion into business. So please reach out to him. You can also get the link on our website, which is happyandhealthymind.com. And if you would like us to send you the links for the reminders and resources like this, you can text us the word joyful, JOYFUL, to the number 38470, and we'd be happy to send you all these resources. And so before we end, I just want to remind you of our upcoming free training and Q&A session on how compassionate high achievers can achieve more without burnout. 3 evidence based methods to reverse the effects of burnout on your body and regain your energy, focus, and productivity. So please join me by going to drrosina.com/webinar. Can't wait to share all the tools that have helped me and many of my clients achieve more in life without getting burnout. So let me leave you with this message. Every day is a new opportunity to make a change. Like Paul said, you own this day. What are you going to do to improve even by 1% today? Make that choice. Start your day intentionally and stay safe and happy and healthy. Until next time, Dr. Rosina.